Waiting for trees to grow on Snowball Earth is like waiting for paint to dry, but with dinosaurs. Welcome everybody, my name is Ryan and we are back with more vintage stories Snowball Earth. And we're here underground at our very little farm site. Yes, these are all the crops in the entire world right here, and we have acquired the seeds thanks to the tree hollows, brought to us by the Primitive Survival mod. But if you're watching this on the day it was uploaded, first of all, thank you for tuning in with the series, of course, but also congratulations because the new 1.21 update is officially out. So go download that, start a new world, load up your old world and start exploring to witness some of the new content. But of course, wait till after you've checked out the episode today. It won't have much of an effect here on our Snowball Earth, but of course this is a limited life run, meaning once we die enough times, I think we've got less than 10 or so, not sure, it's kind of gray area, but once this is over, I do plan on a brand new challenge series, which is going to heavily focus on the new update and the new content. So just wanted to mention that for anybody who might be curious. But like I said, underground, we're waiting on the oak sapling, 12 days. So I've done a little bit of off-camera work, but most of it is above ground. So let's go up and check out some of the stuff I've done. Okay, here we are back above ground. Not much has changed in the main room, except I did add a few extra chests here. Haven't really filled all of them up, but one thing we will do today is maybe go through some of these crafting materials. I've had a couple of questions about these in the comments, so maybe we can see what we'll make from these. Most of this stuff has either come from panning or just from a hunting. Yeah, and this is of course added to us or brought to us by the wool and more mods. So yeah, like I said, we're going to take a look at that stuff shortly, but oh, what is this? There's a new building that has appeared outside, and I still have not found that weird penguin or the fox that's making noise, but nonetheless, you can see I've constructed what appears to be a pretty ugly little building here, mainly made of stone, with the exception of 2 of these hay grass blocks. So this is our new cellar, so to speak. It's just going to be right here on the same level. Doesn't necessarily need to be underground. Temperature and light are the 2 things that affect cellars the most in terms of the length of time before this stuff rots. So we can see we've got full like 50 days, 55 days. Even some of these things that are sealed now are good for multiple years. So I think we've got the maximum here we can get, except actually the temperature might be a little bit high. I think if the temp dropped even lower, it would probably further extend the shelf life here, but this is pretty good. I like the way it's set up, and of course I've gone with the blocks here because they prevent more light than a normal door would, and of course adding wood into this mix too also takes away from potential shelf life. So if we were to add a door here, you could definitely see a difference in the light levels. In fact, why don't we put that to the test? I'll go grab a door and show you. Alright, here we are, and we're going to knock out these 2 blocks. We got full daylight, and if we put the door in, look at that. I don't have the torch. It's not in my hand or anything. That is now the natural light level of this room with the door. So you can see, you can imagine the sunlight is basically like filtering through the cracks in the door. That's kind of the way I imagine it. But if I replace that with the hay, boom, there we go. So you can see the same room now is nearly pitch black. A little bit going on here, but then of course we can always slap down some artificial light and that's not going to hurt the situation at all. But that's just the reason I'm going to be going with hay bales. In case anybody's wondering, it might take a couple extra seconds to break and then replace, but honestly I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal, as opposed to just opening and closing a door. Plus it saves the door for another purpose. So other than that, yeah, I mean, I did kind of fix the gaps there in the door, although they do allow us to shoot through there. There's not going to be much point, I think, in shooting through that particular position. In fact, I'm going to rely mainly on our new trench here, the moat, without any water in it. Oh, I guess I could funnel some water, but no, there's no point in doing that. Either way, mostly everything else is the same. Yeah, I do need to go get some wood, so we're going to have to go on a little adventure. But first, like I said, we've got some crafting to do. So let's just make sure there aren't any Tyrannosauruses in our pit. Looks pretty clear, unfortunately. Yeah, and let's hop back inside. Alright, it's a little bit quieter and a lot warmer here inside the house. I still need to touch up these glacial ice. I want to add some still, but again, aesthetics aren't as important in this world, just surviving and not going insane with cabin fever. To that end, I've been working a little bit on the blacksmithing, just making some more ingots. Haven't really made any more progress on the anvil. This isn't a big priority just yet. We've got a little ways to go before we're ready for steel, but I thought it would be fun to start it. And other than that, I did get a few X skills points, so let's place those together. Yeah, I got one for metalworking. Let's see, I do want to go into heating hits too at some point, but we've got a few new options down here. Of course, the farther you get, the higher level, these options will start to open up. But let's see here, metalworking, receive 40%. So this is a profession you can only have, I think, 2 of these, or maybe just 1. So we have to decide, do we want to be a metal worker, or maybe do I want to save that profession for something like the mining? I think mining has one too. But to be honest, I think we will go for the processing metalworking, because there's so many really good things in here. Like duplicator is one of them. You have a 5% chance for each level to duplicate, receive a second additional item. I mean, some really crazy stuff. There's even one, is this it? You have a chance for every hit to finish a smithing worth immediately, like instantly. It's a small chance, but sometimes it will happen on like the very first strike of your hammer. So yeah, this is one of the cooler, I think, trees here within the X skills. They're all very interesting, but let's go ahead and do metalworker, so we'll get more experience into the metalworking skill as we go. And maybe that'll help encourage me to spend more time blacksmithing. But I did make a plate. I wanted to save it though for you guys, so we're going to make our very first lantern here in the world together. It's a pretty simple recipe, but the hard part for us is the candle. Of course, as I mentioned before, we're not really going to have much wax in this world. No bees probably, unless we happen to go south and find like a really, really warm area. But I don't think that's likely to happen, although we don't know. We will make a southern trip eventually. So we've got a lantern. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty amazing. Yep, that's our first one in the world. So unfortunately, it's going to now dominate another slot in my inventory like the shield, but I will probably use this more often than I will my shield. So once I get the time to do some more panning of the bony soil, we'll probably whip up like a second one and maybe put that below in our little underground farm, just so we know that the light levels are the best they can be down there. But let's take a look at some of these crafting materials that we've talked about here. I think the real important ones we should focus on are these, clothing things, because these can help us to repair what we've got. You can see some of my stuff needs to be repaired very badly, and of course that's going to help our temperature. In addition, we can potentially make some new clothing too, which might be more beneficial to us. So I don't think we have any or enough of these fibers, but this stack of red-brown fleece looks really interesting. So let's just open up the handbook with this in mind and explore what we can do. So obtained by killing and harvesting. We've got most of this from the bears that we killed, and it's an ingredient for the wool fibers. Now, with this, we can make a very fine brown sweater. That looks really nice. Alright, what does it take? Oh, okay, we need knitting needles. I don't even know how to make those. Couple sticks and okay, that's easy to do. Let's go back. In addition, quivet fibers. Is it just showing me that we can use like fibers from anything, or do these actually have to be this exact layout? It kind of looks like it needs to be that exact layout, but I'm not sure. Either way, let's go back a step here. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to put this in the crafting with what, a knife? Was that what it showed? Didn't actually show it, did it? How is an ingredient? Mixing in a barrel. Oh, okay, so I actually have to mix this in the barrel. That makes more sense, yeah, when we look at this recipe. Diluted borax. Interesting. I grabbed a bit of this stuff. It should be over here in this chest. Only with the intention of using it for an anvil at some point. But, well, yeah, I've got some bones going. Maybe I should take some time to grind this up, see if we can fill a barrel. That would be a definitely good use. And, of course, there's more of it right there. That's lead. Right there, that's borax. You can see it's going to be a bit of a trek to get there, though. Maybe in a couple days when we want to go explore and check these hollows again, we'll go for the borax. But for now, I think we'll just continue to sit on the red-brown fleece until maybe we get more, or we have enough borax to fill a barrel. I will grind up what we have and just see about that. So let's flash forward. Okay, well, the borax has been powderized, and it looks like we'll need 2 more sprinkles in order to make the diluted stuff. I could, of course, reduce the amount of water in the barrel, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Again, it's not super critical, but one thing I probably should do is get some lime water. I don't think that will work for this because it specifically shows diluted borax here. Oh, it actually does show lime water. Oh, you just can't see it really changing. Oh, that's a whole different story. Let's put those away. Actually, that needs to go somewhere else, but yeah. I definitely got limestone aplenty. Let's see, obsidian, basalt. There it is, limestone. Let's grab a stack of this, and instead of like just putting it in the cairn, which I could do, takes so long, I'm just going to crush it with the hammer. Yeah, boom. Obviously, that's going to use some of the durability on the hammer, which is not quite as efficient, quote unquote, but it's an iron hammer, and we've got tons of iron, and I don't want to stand here and do that. So now we've got a full 64. This is great. See, I kind of needed to do this anyway in anticipation of that oak seed growing. So now we can do it for this. Yeah. All right. I've already forgotten what lime water ratio. So it's 1 liter for, yeah, substantially more lime is needed than borax, which is interesting. It's one of the reasons I think borax, it's good to have both, you know. All right. So we drop that in. Oh, wait. 1 for 1. Why is it not turning? I'm doing something wrong here. Hold on. Lime water. Lime 1. We've got, what do I want? Just 10? Why is it not working? Not sure. Maybe I need more. Weird. Let me figure this out real quick. Oh, well, that was weird. It actually worked, but it was just like lagged out. So like it wouldn't work while I was putting it in here, but when I went to close the window because I was just going to try like the other barrel, it immediately just turned into it and depleted it from my hotbar. That was weird. Yeah, it's just a little lag. Huh. I don't understand why that happened exactly. Let's do a couple more. All right, I use this hammer here. Maybe we can duplicate that again. Let's find out, because it was definitely the right measurement. It is 50 sprinkles. Sorry, it's very dark out here. Let's change that real quick. Right there's fine. Okay, so let's crush this up. And there we go. That should be good. Half stack, 2. All right, and boom. Yeah, that's what I expected to happen right there. And we should be able to fill up the others. Let's see. Well, let's just put this in here. So what does it say again exactly? 1 for every half liter. So I really, with what I have here, I think I'll be wasting a bit of the lime water, but we'll turn it into 20. Yeah, let's just do it. Seal it up. 20 hours, it's not too long. Lime is plentiful too, especially in this region. Well, it's 8 p.m. in the evening, and don't have much more to do in terms of crafting. I do want to go out tomorrow and cut down some trees, but for now I figured we can do a little pottery. So we're going to make an oven, and this is nice because we don't have to fire this up. Just finishes and boom, it's ready to cook in. So I'm going to also try and whip up a mixing bowl too. That will allow us to start making certain kinds of fruit bread, which, I mean, we don't have any grain for yet, but once we get some, it'll be much more efficient to make bread out of it. And fruit bread's pretty good stuff, especially if we could manage to get like a topping. But I don't know about that. We'll just have to see. Like I said, honey is not going to be an option. I don't think we're going to be able to make peanut butter in this world either. But either way, all right. So, yeah, I've got to use some of my precious fire clay. In fact, since we're depleting so much of it for this one project, we might spend time tomorrow digging around in our hole, getting some more of this. Let's see. Yeah, my iron shovel's looking pretty good. And there we go. You know, there's an X skill for digging too, and it's got some really nice stuff on it as well. Things like mixing clay, like every time you dig up a clay block, you get all three of the different kinds of clay, fire, blue, and red. It's just one of the later stage skills you can get, but really fun mod. Always can't recommend this thing enough. But all right, let me finish up this oven, and I'll probably go to sleep. Then we'll check on our little underground farm in the morning. Oh boy, 32 degrees Fahrenheit at 6 in the morning, October 1st. Officially in the fall now. That's pretty chilly down here. Yeah, as Toad Squish pointed out, the temperature is actually not affected by the lava. It's all due to verticality, but either way, it's still fun having some bubbling lava. Can't really avoid it at this point. I just hope there's none in that direction once we decide to finally expand, but we're looking good down here. 12 days to mature. We've got some onions at stage 5 of 7. Flax, 7 of 9. That's going to be huge right there. Really, just for the seeds to allow us to propagate even more flax, you know, but for now, we're still pretty far away from making more sails for a windmill, but that is very much what my flax is going to be dedicated to in the future. But all right, the sun should be up. Hopefully there's no T-Rexes in the vicinity, but let's pop up to the roof and just take a look about before we head down to the lakeside. Okay, just checking out the lake shore down there. We have definitely seen tyrannosaurs walking around, but it looks pretty quiet. In fact, I did a full 360 and I haven't noticed anything around. Yeah, pretty good. No dragons, no polar bears, nothing. It's quiet. Deceptively quiet, perhaps, but alright. I can't stay in the house forever, right? We gotta get out there. Oh, that was me hitting the ground, I think. Yeah. All right, let's go. We got to be careful when we dive into the hot springs. And I've got an axe with me, a backup. Like I said, we might go below 2 and dig up some more clay, maybe even some more black coal. Yeah. I probably need another round of fire clay bricks going too. Oh my gosh, you know what this is? Yeah, this is one of the seeds I planted. Wow. This is the first tree that has actually grown, you know, from a seed that I planted. There's another one next to it. Yeah, I don't think birches grow naturally. I got that from just clearing out the bushes and stuff down here. But wow, that's a good sign. Because I've been a little nervous. Actually, I've been fully convinced that they won't grow on the surface. But even though they have that timer, because the timer's not accurate for a lot of them. All right, I gotta stop talking and start looking around. Let's, just start clearing out trees. And once I get a sufficient stack of this, we'll go below ground and check it out. Oh my god, guys, I just made a terrible, terrible mistake. Oh no, it's happened. I accidentally chopped down one of the trees with the hollow. I can delete that. Yeah, look, there's a flax seed on the ground. Oh my god, I got rice out of it too. I really noticed because there's grubs here. There's also like, there it is. Yeah, this can be used as like a backpack or something. The pine tree hollow. Oh my god, what a mistake though. What an absolute mistake that was. I need to go drop off this wood now. I don't think I even have my bag on. I got some grubs out of it too. Oh, well, at least we did end up getting the oak tree seed that we really needed. But man, I was just like on this tear, just chopping down everything, you know, all the trees, and I wasn't paying attention. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh, that was the closest one too. But all right, yeah, I'm gonna run home real quick before that stuff despawns. I think we've got like a 10-minute window when the items sit there loaded up in a world, or in a chunk, I should say. But man, oh, so stupid. Not to worry. Hey, that'll just encourage me to get out there and explore farther and farther and find more tree hollows. But dang it, that was such a stupid mistake. Okay, well, we've returned to the site of my massive blunder. Here it is. So I wonder how this works. Oh, it does say 10 slots. Storage slots for... Wait, so is this like way bigger than what I've currently got? Alright, so that's the shield. Let's take that out. No, that's not how that works. Wait, how does this work exactly? Do I put it down like the carry-on mod? Oh, wait a second. Okay, it does work on carry-on. So then, what do I access it like a chest? Oh, okay. That's actually amazing. And it's got 10 spots. I mean, it probably slows me down. Most things do. It's hard to tell just like this, but I mean, it's still cool, you know. I've got tons of baskets that I've been using for that purpose up to now, but I'm just trying to look on the bright side of chopping down a tree hollow. You know, in any other world, it wouldn't be that big of a deal necessarily, but here on Snowball Earth, that was a pretty tragic loss. Oh, well. All right, I'm actually interested in doing a little bit of hunting, too. I've got my 16 arrows. Like I said, I probably should go below ground. Oh, what am I doing? Go below ground and get some clay and some coal. And in fact, I think I'm going to punish myself with a little penance. I'm going to force myself to make like 10 iron ingots, you know, as a penance for destroying my tree hollow. I think that's good punishment. Okay, well, it's not a penguin, but I did come across something here. I guess we could try to hunt. Okay, that's a little too far. Let's wait for it to come back. I'm not gonna kill myself this time. Oh, I think there's a penguin over there, though. Yeah. Oh, there's a couple. Okay. I'm on the right track. Started venturing out a little bit off the beaten path, just winding my way, following the mountainside. Oh, there's some berries dead ahead, too. Alright, he's off in the distance. We could potentially get him, you know, if I'm careful about it, now that we've got his health down a little bit. But let's get our arrows. Oh, that's good. Not a single one of them broke. Alright, let's go. I'm going to keep the dirt in my hand. Lots of berries. Wow. Okay, it's too cold, though, for most of those. Uh-huh. Beautiful. Yeah, this is the same noise that's happening under my house. So it's definitely a penguin, like, stuck in a cave or something. Might have to deal with that when we get back, but oh, nice. These iron arrows are great. Alright, I'm sorry to all the penguin lovers out there too, but don't forget these are just simulated penguins. No true penguin was harmed in the making of today's video. Oh boy, I can jump into the hot spring and heal up those penguin bite wounds that I've got. Very nice. I decided not to go after that polar bear, you know, figured why when we've got a bunch of emperor penguins, so I ended up with a little bit of meat. I did not want to go overboard with it, though. Don't want to extinct the whole population in one go. That's just not smart. So we've got, I reclaimed the fences. Yeah, there we go. Those were the ones just sitting out there around the birds that I believe had despawned due to darkness probably. But anyway, let's see what we did get. These are from, yeah, that hollow that I destroyed. Dang it. So we'll take those down in the morning. It's getting a little bit late. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and convert these into regular stuff. Oh, that's interesting. I think we actually got more feathers when I did that too. Well, that makes sense. So these I'm actually just going to let rot away. And I've already got a few in here too. You know, good for a few more days. We can probably do that to this one as well. Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Now, don't worry. I've got tons more leather, you know, out here. There's even more we can get too. So it's not a big deal to let some of that rot away, certainly. And let's see, the rot is going to be extremely helpful too once we can start filling up, you know, barrels with it and turn it into compost. But I've still got that little wolf pup. I've got some emeralds here from panning. Literally good for nothing. But just taking a look, let's see. Now these pine seeds can actually be turned into food as well. The pine nuts, but I think I've already got a stack of those, so I'm going to keep that. Let's put the fat away. Let's see, that goes over here. Very good. And I've got a maple seed. Drop that off now. Feathers and bones get put away. I still haven't memorized everything. There we go. And once we do that, we can start cooking. Okay, what am I missing here? Oh, my knife. Excellent, excellent. Yeah. So we'll put this in here too. Let's check out what we've got in our cellar. Here we go. Put these up in there. All right, so I've got some stored crocs. Good. These have 40 satiety. The lingonberries have 60. So that's what we're going to go with. We'll grab a stack of those. And yeah, we'll throw in a little extra pine nut just for that extra protein pop. But might as well. And this stuff's here good for several years. I've sealed most of these. Let's see here. These are unsealed too. And they're good for 30 days. So I think we'll grab one of these. That's what we'll eat while we're cooking. Because we are pretty hungry. Next to starvation. But food's become not much of an issue after we killed that T-Rex, thankfully. And like I said, we can always get a few penguins if need be. But, oh, you know, wait, whoa. I did make, there it is, a rolling pin. So we can actually do this properly. Smash it out. Excellent. And then we put it back in the hot bar, or in the crafting grid, with the knife, turn it into nuggets. And of course this process is just part of the expanded foods mod, but it says it makes it easier to eat. I don't exactly know what that means, but I always do it anyway. And for certain recipes like sausage, for instance, it's necessary to flatten and then chop it. But all right, that's enough a tutorial. In fact, I have a whole bunch of dedicated tutorial videos just for the expanded food mods. It's one of my favorite parts about this game is the cooking. And those mods, the expanded foods and a culinary artillery, really add to it, you know. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and we'll fill up this other cooking pot with the red meat we've got. We are going to have one left over, but that's not a big deal. I could save it, or I could just cook it up on its own and having a little midnight snack. All right, got to make sure I've got the right quantity. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. I'm like out of practice. There we go. All right, I'll light those up in a second. Let's hang this up, and I'm pretty sure I got another X skill. Yeah, forestry while I was out there chopping down trees. So we'll place this together. Careful, lumberjack. Tree falling. Let that one just speeds us up. That's not bad, but I think we're going to go for lumberjack. Just straight up increases the amount of wood. Resin farmer's not necessary. More ladders isn't bad, but yeah, we'll go with lumberjack for sure. Another day on Snowball Earth. Let us wake and go below to check out our little underground farm. I think, what are we looking at now? Day 11 on the oak seed? Well, let's just cut to it and find out. Alright, stay alive, not get into any trouble. Although, to be honest, I'm kind of regretting not killing that bear, because then we could get more of those fibers and stuff. And I tell you what, that wool shirt or sweater, whatever it was, looked pretty nice. But we'll get back out there. Like I said, maybe we can down a bear. Who knows? Maybe there won't be one trapped in our little moat today. Boy, oh boy. Well, I've said it before, but this black coal / fire clay is pretty extensive. Yeah, it's pretty crazy just how much of this there is. But let's see here. I've got, a couple of stacks, 3 stacks of fire clay plus a little bit more. It's 10 in the morning. I might just stay down here until I fill up my inventory or my shovel breaks first. But like I said, we are working towards our digging trait. Yeah, there's the one, a mixed clay. That's the one I was talking about earlier, where you get one of each type. It's not super important. It's not like a critical one. It's just goes to show some of the variety and creative skills that you'll find here in the X Skills mod. But all right, enough talking. Let me get to work and clear out this little gold mine filled with clay, not gold. Alright, well, we have returned from our little clay expedition. I got plenty of the stuff. I think it might all be gone now. But, if we run out, I'll go back there and check again. And potentially, I think there was another black coal deposit somewhere. That's obsidian. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was. Those are all brown coal, which I don't think fire clay spawns under brown coal. There's black coal there. Yeah, so it's a bit farther of a trek, but still worth checking if we run out, which we might. Keep in mind, if I do want to get up to steel eventually, we'll have to use a lot of fire clay. Okay, but yeah, doesn't appear to be any animals down here. Let's see if I can jump over here and make it in. Hey, awesome. Yeah, so I'm going to get a batch of fire clay bricks going with the nice black coal that we've got saved up. And of course, I still have to do my penance of 10 iron ingot bars. That'll give us a total of 22 once I get there. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But of course, I won't make you guys sit through that ordeal. All right, there it is. I'm going to stack it up separately. Not to worry, not to worry. Now, that's another thing that we might eventually have to venture out for and find some more of is iron. But for the most part, we're doing pretty good. We are. Now, once we do get up into steel, or even before that, once we want to make armor, yeah, we'll probably need more than what we've got. But all right, let's see what time it is. 1:14. Oh boy, there's something I really want to do something besides start on blacksmithing. I don't know. Maybe we can locate a T-Rex out here to go torment, but it's probably not the safest activity. Well, either way, I've got a few chores, and then it's time. Time for the penance. All right, the fire clay bricks are now being fired and still working on charcoal. Check this out, though. Don't worry, I promise I'm not delaying my punishment, but our fibers are done. So let's grab them. There's still plenty of lime water, too. I can still use this, I'm pretty sure, for making some leather once we get to that point. Not right away, but let's see what we've got here in our chests. So yeah, I've got 22 of these. Now let's move this a little bit so we can have all windows open. Good, good, good. So in order to make, how do you make the light wool fibers? Okay, we would have to dilute it further. We might do that in order to use it to repair our clothing. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's grab it, and I just want to see what this looks like. Hey, it's way more than what we have. Yeah, I don't have enough. And still, we haven't determined if we can even use, all one kind. I might have to go out searching for a bunch of different ones. But let's take a look at our clothes. So, okay, that doesn't work. Is there anything we can make with this? The brown wool twine. Now, what does this make? Okay, we could make sacks out of it. That's helpful. I'm kind of anticipating skipping over the cloth sacks and going right to leather backpacks. Be probably one of the first things I make with our batch of leather once we get there. And okay, looks like there's some other stuff we don't really want. So let's try to use this to repair. No, that's not working. I don't even think... Well, let's grab a couple. We might need more than one. No. We can turn this stuff into actual squares. So let's try that. Oh yeah, we can do one. Alright, I'll put that back. Now, let's look at this real quick. Yeah, we can't make windmill sails out of it, so I don't really care about it then. But let's try and use this to repair. There we go. So we can repair our stuff with enough of these little fibers. That's good to know. I don't think... Let's try the gray wool. For whatever reason, the gray wool doesn't work. That won't work. Yeah. So, oh, well, that's... Well, no. I'm mistaken, because we need to turn it into a patch here. Yeah. Duh. Alright, so we can do that. We just need a little bit more gray wool. Let's see. How many do I have? That's brown. Yeah, we don't have enough. Well, that just means we got more panning to do. Oh, wait a second. Light brown fleece... You know what, screw it. Let's go throw these into the barrels. It's going to be a minimal amount, but it seems to work. Yeah, no matter what quantity I put in there. Very cool. Yeah, I love it. All right, so we're making it. We're working. Just trying to get things repaired, but obviously that's going to be beneficial too, because it does improve the overall effectiveness of the clothes in terms of thermal retention and whatnot. But all right, enough jibber jabber. It's time, people. Like I said, I won't make you sit through it, but I will show you the nice enlarged stack of iron ingots once we're all done. Oh my goodness. Well, number 10 just finished it. Look at that. And let's go ahead and put them all in one stack together. Well, I got my tongs. There they are, 10 iron ingots. Don't plan on making anything with them right now, but it's just good to really get those converted from the blooms to the ingots. Going to help us down the road for sure, but broke one of my hammers, so we'll have to repair that too. But again, I'm a little bit tired of the blacksmithing, but that was the point, wasn't it? So we've made up for the fact that I cut down one of my tree hollows. I hope you can all accept that as adequate punishment. I know that for me, it definitely taught me a lesson here. Be more careful when chopping down trees, no doubt about it. You'd think that would be something I would have already learned, but regardless, oh my gosh, guys, it's a beautiful evening out here. It was only one day. Most of the day it took me, so I think our oak seed's only going to have 10 days left. Yeah, once we fall asleep, wake up in the morning, but we're getting closer, no doubt about it, everybody. So make sure you tune in for the future episodes. I might do a little bit more off-camera work, just more blacksmithing, probably nothing major. I won't venture out and risk any lives, but that way, of course, we can speed up, and we won't have to take another like 5 or 6 episodes in order to see if that tree below us will eventually grow. So like I said, hopefully in the next 1 or 2 episodes, we'll know for sure whether or not we can grow trees underground here on Snowball Earth. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode, more of a laid back one, but hit that like button if you did. Make sure to drop me a comment below. I always love hearing from you guys, and I will see you all on the next one.